Is everything you've been led to believe about cannabis profoundly wrong? Scientists have recently unearthed something startling. Your brain contains unique receptors that respond exclusively to compounds found in marijuana. These specialized receptors simply don't exist for substances like alcohol, caffeine, or any other commonly known drug. Why does this peculiar design exist? Because ancient civilizations, from the profound wisdom of the Egyptians to the deep spiritual traditions of the Hindus, intuitively understood that this remarkable plant was never solely for mere intoxication. It was revered as a sacred bridge to the divine. Today, we are actively rekindling that forgotten, profound wisdom. Here is a truth they may not want you to acknowledge. The Vedas, a spiritual text dating back 5 millennia, refers to cannabis as Banga, meaning the conqueror of suffering. The revered Egyptian deity Thoth, in the enigmatic emerald tablet, alluded to it as the green messenger. Even within the sacred pages of the Bible, it's subtly referenced as a component in a holy anointing oil. Yet, modern society has largely reduced its immense potential to merely a recreational drug, inadvertently severing us from its true, expansive power. I recall a significant personal shift. I used it simply to relax until one extraordinary night, something truly unbelievable occurred. After a single inhalation, I closed my eyes, and suddenly, I was floating effortlessly above my physical body, perceiving vibrant colors that simply do not exist in our ordinary world. A profound voice whispered, "You've been asleep. Now, wake up." That singular moment transformed everything I understood. Insights will now be shared into how to unlock these deeper aspects safely, without losing yourself in mere illusions or confusion. But heed this critical warning. This is not a casual endeavor. Shamans across diverse traditions consistently emphasize that cannabis can unveil glimpses of either heaven or hell, depending entirely on the user's state and intention. Most individuals, regrettably, never discern the critical difference. This exploration will unveil astonishing details about the CIA's once secret experiments, which, through officially declassified documents, remarkably proved cannabis could unlock latent psychic abilities. These official records speak for themselves. You will also learn about the precise 7-breath ritual Thoth reportedly employed to activate inner vision, a practice accessible and effective even if you've never engaged in meditation before. We will delve into why Rastafarians chant before smoking and how this ritual transforms the experience into a profound act of prayer. Crucially, you'll learn the unsettling reasons some people encounter challenging or frightening visions, and simple yet powerful methods to mitigate such experiences. In mere moments, this is not simply another discussion about cannabis. It represents a comprehensive masterclass in ancient secrets, profound wisdom meticulously erased from mainstream historical narratives. If you are truly prepared to perceive reality from a radically different, expanded perspective, this journey promises revelations you've truly never encountered before. Close your eyes for a brief moment. Imagine holding a single leaf so profoundly potent that ancient shamans would willingly traverse vast mountains to discover it. A plant so deeply sacred that Egyptian priests utilized it to directly commune with their gods. This isn't mere fantasy. This is cannabis, widely considered Earth's oldest spiritual companion. Modern scientific inquiry is now unequivocally confirming what mystics have known for millennia, when used with genuine reverence and clear intention. This green teacher can unlock profound doors within your mind that typically remain firmly shut. The Vedas, ancient texts penned over 3,000 years ago, referred to it as Bonga, signifying the conqueror, not a conqueror of people, but a conqueror of suffering, of illusion itself. In India, devout holy men continue to partake in Bang during Shiva festivals, not for recreational revelry, but to dissolve their ego. Much like sugar melting into milk, they profoundly believe each sip connects them intimately to Shiva's cosmic dance of creation and destruction. Meanwhile, in the icy expanses of Siberia, shamans would burn cannabis and intently observe the rising smoke, believing it carried their heartfelt prayers directly to the spirit world. The smoke, for them, transcended its physical form, becoming a sacred ladder ascending between the earthly realm and the heavens. But here's a crucial insight most people overlook. Cannabis does not give you visions in the sense of fabricating something entirely new. Instead, it powerfully removes the mental blocks that prevent you from perceiving what is already intrinsically present within the fabric of reality. Consider your mind as a radio. Normally, it's meticulously tuned to just one station, the familiar physical world. Cannabis simply adjusts the dial, allowing you to receive other, more subtle frequencies. A groundbreaking 2021 Johns Hopkins study provided compelling scientific validation for this. When volunteers consumed cannabis in carefully guided spiritual settings, an astonishing 80% reported experiencing mystical experiences, identical to those described by advanced meditators or monks. Their brains consistently exhibited the same alpha wave patterns typically observed in individuals who have meditated for decades. Yet, a palpable danger always accompanies such power. Like fire, this potent tool can either warm and illuminate, or profoundly burn. The ancient Taoists cautioned that cannabis could either open the heavenly eye, or inadvertently summon earthbound ghosts, depending entirely on the user's conscious intention. This underscores why meticulous preparation matters. Before traditional use, shamans would rigorously fast, pray, and purify themselves for days. They didn't simply grab a joint and passively zone out. They approached each session as a profound, sacred ceremony, because to them, it was considered this practice this evening. Before consciously using cannabis, sit quietly for 5 minutes. Place your hand gently over your heart and silently ask, "What do I need to understand?" Then, pay meticulous attention not just to potential visions, but to subtle feelings, emerging memories, or sudden, unexpected insights that spontaneously arise. You might be astounded by what the plant reveals to you when you genuinely listen. Remember, indigenous cultures never used cannabis to escape reality. They employed it to perceive reality more clearly, and that fundamental distinction makes all the difference. Next, we will uncover Thoth's profound secret, how the Egyptians meticulously encoded cannabis wisdom within the emerald tablet, and why this vital knowledge remained hidden for centuries. But for now, sit with this reflective question. If cannabis is truly a messenger, what fundamental truth is it attempting to convey to you? Picture this vividly. Deep beneath the ancient sands of Egypt, within a hidden chamber, untouched for untold ages, rests a remarkable green stone tablet, glowing faintly with strange, esoteric symbols. This is the fabled Emerald Tablet of Thoth, and contemporary researchers now propose that its most renowned phrase, "as above, so below," actually harbors a profound secret about cannabis, a truth that fundamentally alters everything we thought we knew. Ancient texts describe Thoth, the revered god of wisdom, as the guardian of a sacred plant that possessed the power to open the eye of Horus, what we, in modern terms, often refer to as the third eye. Yet, this knowledge was not for the masses. It was deliberately concealed within intricate codes, patiently awaiting those who were truly ready and prepared to comprehend its deeper meaning. The truth begins to emerge when we meticulously study ancient temple reliefs depicting Egyptian priests holding peculiar lotus flowers. Recent laboratory analyses of 3,000-year-old residue extracted from these artifacts have revealed that these were not ordinary lotuses. They contained verifiable cannabis compounds. The priests would meticulously burn these specially prepared blends during their sacred rituals, creating a unique smoke that assisted them in accessing what they termed the duat, the hidden realm existing between worlds. A compelling 2022 study published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology further confirmed that when cannabis is combusted alongside certain ancient temple incense ingredients, it produces distinct psychoactive effects. Unlike smoking cannabis alone, this groundbreaking finding elegantly explains why Egyptian visions were often so remarkably vivid. They weren't merely using cannabis, they were engaging with a sophisticated, sacred technology. Here's where it becomes even more fascinating. The Emerald Tablet's most mysterious line, "With great care and wisdom shall you use the green gift," may well be the earliest written warning concerning cannabis dosage. Thoth intuitively understood what modern science now confirms: too much cannabis can overwhelm the delicate nervous system, rendering the experience chaotic, while too little yields no discernible effect. The perfect amount, as described in Egyptian texts, was enough to make the hieroglyphs dance but not vanish. This exquisite, delicate balance allowed priests to receive clear visions without losing their vital connection to the physical world. Modern seekers frequently miss this crucial wisdom. We either consume too little, feeling nothing significant, or too much, spiraling into confusion and anxiety. Try this intentional approach instead. Next time you choose to use cannabis, Begin with approximately half your normal amount. Sit with that initial dose for 15 minutes before even considering consuming more. Notice how the experience feels profoundly different when you approach it as medicine or a sacred tool, rather than merely an escape. Many individuals report that smaller, more intentional doses consistently produce clearer visions and deeper insights, just as the Egyptians so accurately described. The most shocking discovery yet comes from linguists meticulously studying Thoth's symbolic language. The hieroglyph for knowledge depicts a flowering plant positioned beside an open eye. For centuries, scholars assumed this represented the blue lotus, but new translations now compellingly suggest it symbolizes a different sacred plant, one that grows in mountainous regions and possesses distinctive five-fingered leaves. Does that sound familiar? This paradigm-shifting insight fundamentally alters everything we thought we understood about ancient spirituality. These weren't mere stories or myths. They were precise, encoded instructions, patiently waiting thousands of years for us to rediscover how to interpret them. This evening, as you prepare for sleep, ask yourself what profound knowledge might be encoded in nature itself, waiting for us to remember how to read it. CIA experiments, cannabis and remote viewing. In 1972, behind tightly locked doors in a covert facility in Virginia, a clandestine group of CIA scientists made a discovery so astonishing that they immediately classified it top secret. Their declassified documents, eventually released in 2003, unveiled something truly extraordinary. Ordinary individuals, when using cannabis, could suddenly describe distant geographical locations with an astonishing 60% accuracy, all without ever physically leaving the room. This wasn't magic or psychic trickery in the conventional sense. This was the genesis of their covert remote viewing experiments, and it powerfully demonstrated what ancient cultures had known all along about cannabis and its capacity for expanded perception. The program, notoriously codenamed Project Stargate, meticulously found that even low doses of THC temporarily enhanced what researchers termed non-local awareness, the remarkable ability to perceive beyond conventional physical space. One particular test subject, a college student with absolutely no prior psychic experience, accurately drew a classified Soviet military facility after cannabis use, down to the precise number of trucks parked outside. Scientists theorized that cannabis effectively quieted the incessant noise of the logical, analytical mind, thereby allowing direct access to what Tibetan Buddhists call rigpa, pure awareness existing beyond the confines of thought. A 2018 UCLA study further corroborated this, unequivocally demonstrating that cannabis users performed significantly better on complex pattern recognition tests, discerning connections that sober participants consistently missed. But here's a crucial detail the CIA documents notably didn't widely publish. Their most significant failures stemmed from overuse. When subjects consumed excessive amounts, their visions became chaotic, fragmented, and utterly unreliable. This observation precisely mirrors the ancient wisdom taught by Amazonian shamans, who emphasized that the plant spirit itself becomes confused when we partake of more than is truly needed. The optimal sweet spot for remote viewing, as determined by the CIA's own data, was approximately 1/3 of a typical recreational dose, just enough to subtly lift the veil, not to completely tear it apart and create disarray. You can safely experiment with a version of this tonight. After a small, intentional dose of cannabis, sit comfortably and gently focus your attention on a person you deeply love but cannot physically see at that moment. Don't actively try to visualize them. Instead, simply notice any sudden, subtle smells, unexpected temperature changes in the room, or emergent emotions that arise within you. Many individuals report experiencing a palpable sense of their loved one's presence or receiving unexpected mental images. Make sure to document everything immediately afterward. You might be astonished by the accuracy of your perceptions later. The most fascinating finding came from Dr. Jacobo Grinberg, a renowned Mexican neuroscientist who meticulously studied indigenous shamans. His brain scans revealed that experienced cannabis users developed significantly stronger connections between the right and left brain hemispheres, the very same neurological pattern consistently observed in advanced meditators. This profound discovery helps explain why cannabis can feel so revelatory. It literally rewires your brain towards more holistic thinking if utilized wisely. However, there's a vital catch. These benefits appeared exclusively in users who combined cannabis consumption with clear intention and focused attention. Random, recreational use, devoid of purpose, showed no such transformative effects on brain, connectivity, or perception. The dark side of visions. Navigating challenging experiences. As we continue, we will explore the often unseen dark side of these expansive visions, why some individuals experience terrifying encounters, and how ancient cultures meticulously protected themselves during such journeys. But for now, consider this profound question. If consciousness is indeed not local, as both cutting-edge quantum physics and ancient spiritual traditions consistently suggest, what else might we truly perceive when the rigid doors of the ordinary mind begin to crack open? Imagine this scenario vividly. You've just taken a few mindful puffs of cannabis, when suddenly the entire room feels heavy, dense with an inexplicable energy. Shapes seem to move in the shadows that shouldn't be there. Your heart races as something unseen distinctly whispers your name. This isn't a scene from a horror movie. This is what ancient cultures referred to as the plant testing you. And in this crucial moment, your response will determine whether this becomes a profound breakthrough or a frightening nightmare. Tibetan Buddhists have a surprisingly insightful name for these potentially scary moments: Dern encounters, meaning difficult or painful encounters. They deeply believe that challenging visions are not external demons, but rather unprocessed parts of your own psyche surfacing to be acknowledged and ultimately healed. A 2023 study published in the Journal of Psychopharmacology found that a significant 68% of spiritual cannabis users reported experiencing at least one frightening vision during their journeys. However, a key finding was that those who faced these visions calmly often reported profound healing and integration afterward. The critical insight: don't run, don't fight. Instead, breathe deeply and internally affirm, "Show me what I need to see, then show me the light." Shamans across diverse cultures worldwide developed simple yet effective physical methods to ground these intense energies. The Hikal people of Mexico, for instance, traditionally keep a bowl of salt nearby during their sacred ceremonies. Just the act of touching it, they believe, can help dissolve negative visions. Science offers a fascinating explanation for this. Salt contains ions that can literally help to reset your nervous system. Another potent trick comes from Hawaiian kahunas. They place their bare feet firmly on the earth and visualize roots growing deep into the ground. Studies have shown this practice can reduce anxiety by an impressive 40% within mere minutes. If you ever find yourself feeling overwhelmed during a cannabis journey, try this immediately. Lick a tiny pinch of salt, then press your bare feet firmly to the floor while slowly exhaling 3 times. But prevention matters most. The Taoists discovered that cannabis powerfully amplifies whatever energy you bring to the experience. If you're feeling stressed or fearful when you consume it, those feelings will inevitably magnify. That's why traditional preparations were so vital. Before a session, cleanse your space with ringing bells or by burning sage, which has been shown to reduce airborne bacteria by a remarkable 94%. Change into comfortable clothes, as your physical state subtly signals your mind what to expect. Most importantly, set a crystal clear intention, such as only show me what serves my highest good. Modern psychology explains this through expectancy theory. Your beliefs profoundly shape your experience at a neurological level. A Yale study demonstrated that people who explicitly expected positive spiritual experiences from cannabis had them 80% more often than those who didn't. This isn't just in your head. It's how your brain actively filters and constructs reality. That's why seasoned users often keep a sacred anchor, a meaningful object like a smooth stone or a cherished family photo to touch if things feel unsteady. This evening, if you choose to explore, remember this: fear is often just unprocessed wisdom knocking at your door. The plant isn't showing you monsters, it's revealing where you still need to shine your own inner light. Rastafarian reasoning, cannabis and sound vibration. Picture this vividly. On a misty Jamaican mountainside, elders pass a communal chalice pipe, not with casual chatter, but with deep, resonant, vibrating chants of Jah. As the sacred herb burns, their voices rise and fall in ancient rhythms, weaving the smoke into something far more profound than mere smoke. This isn't just smoking. This is reasoning, one of the most powerful spiritual technologies ever created. With cannabis, and modern science is now beginning to unravel why this ancient method works so profoundly. Rastafarians have intuitively known for centuries what researchers at Berklee College of Music recently proved. Certain sound frequencies dramatically change how cannabis affects the brain. Their studies demonstrate that chanting in the 100 to 115 Hz range tone precisely aligned with those used in traditional Rastafarian prayers makes the THC receptor sites in your brain 30% more receptive. This means that the same amount of cannabis becomes significantly more potent spiritually when synergistically combined with sacred sound. The elders were right all along. Vibration matters as much as the herb itself. Here's how you can experience this sacred technology tonight. Before inhaling, hum deeply 3 times at your natural vocal pitch. Feel the distinct vibration resonating powerfully in your chest. Then, as you exhale the smoke, consciously shape it with simple, sacred words like light or peace. Notice how the experience feels different, more focused, more intentional. Many individuals report that this practice transforms random thoughts into clear, coherent messages. Much like the profound insights Rastafarians experienced during their gradations. The most fascinating aspect, Rastafarians never use cannabis in isolation. It's almost always communal, always imbued with profound purpose. A 2022 University of the West Indies study found that group cannabis sessions combined with chanting produced remarkably synchronized brainwaves among participants, the very same phenomenon observed in Tibetan monk group meditations. This explains why reasoning sessions often lead to shared visions or collective insights. The smoke becomes a conductor, and the chant becomes the current, allowing everyone to tune in to the same spiritual frequency. But there's one inviolable rule: the elders never break. No music with negative lyrics during sessions. Neuroscience meticulously explains why. Words literally shape how cannabinoids bind to your receptors. Positive lyrics have been shown to increase serotonin release, while aggressive or discordant music can trigger cortisol, which actively blocks spiritual effects. This is why traditional sessions exclusively utilize Nyabingi drums and praise songs. They meticulously create the perfect biochemical environment for revelation. For your next session, consider playing gentle reggae or nature sounds in the background. Observe if the visions come clearer, if the insights feel deeper. Sometimes, the oldest methods prove to be the most scientifically advanced all along. Your inner cannabis, the endocannabinoid system deep within your brain. Right now, tiny molecules almost identical to THC are actively swimming through your bloodstream. Scientists call this your endocannabinoid system. But ancient yogis knew it as the Ananda network, your body's inherent joy maker. When you genuinely laugh at a joke, affectionately hug a loved one, or gaze in awe at a sunset, this intricate system releases your personal cannabis, a molecule called anandamide, a Sanskrit term meaning bliss molecule. The shocking truth is this: you don't inherently need external cannabis to have profound spiritual experiences. Your body already possesses the innate wisdom to create its own. Here's the miracle. Researchers at the University of California made a groundbreaking discovery that regular meditation significantly increases anandamide levels by an impressive 42%, a boost comparable to a mild cannabis dose. Advanced yogis whose brain chemistry was rigorously tested during deep meditative states showed endocannabinoid levels matching someone who'd smoked half a joint. This profoundly explains why monks often describe meditative states as natural highs. They've learned to activate their inner pharmacy through the soul power of breath and focused attention. The very same receptors that welcome external THC also respond to your body's homemade bliss chemicals. You simply need the right key to turn the internal lock. Try this simple, accessible method tonight to awaken your natural cannabis. Sit comfortably and place both hands gently on your belly. Breathe in deeply for 4 counts. Hold your breath for 7 counts. Exhale completely for 8 counts. This specific rhythm has been shown to trigger anandamide release within minutes. As you breathe, imagine a golden warmth spreading from your gut upward. Many individuals report feeling a gentle euphoria after just 3 rounds, their bodies remembering their ancient ability to create sacred states without any external substances. However, modern life constantly sabotages this delicate system. Chronic stress drains anandamide faster than your body can produce it. Excessive screen time disrupts its delicate balance. Processed foods often lack the vital nutrients needed to produce these crucial molecules. That's why traditional cultures meticulously paired cannabis use with practices like fasting, immersion in nature, and strong community bonding. They were unknowingly creating the perfect synergistic conditions for both the plant's cannabinoids and your personal endocannabinoids to work harmoniously together. The most exciting finding comes from Johns Hopkins people, who consistently combine moderate cannabis use with regular meditation practices, develop 60% more cannabinoid receptors over time. This means your body literally becomes more sensitive to both plant medicines and your own internal bliss chemicals. It's akin to upgrading your spiritual Wi-Fi signal. Everything comes through clearer, whether you're using herbs or not. Tonight, before reaching for cannabis, spend 5 minutes with the 4-7-8 breath. You might discover your body already possesses everything you've been searching for in that leafy teacher. The real secret was inside you all along. The plant was merely reminding you where to look. The plant's sacred wisdom, when to let go. There comes a pivotal moment in every genuine spiritual journey with cannabis, when the plant itself seems to gently whisper, "Enough." Perhaps your usual dose suddenly induces anxiety instead of enlightenment. Perhaps visions that once came effortlessly now feel forced, diluted, or empty. This is not a sign of failure. This is the plant's sacred wisdom actively at work. Just as a wise teacher knows when to challenge students and when to step back, cannabis possesses its own profound intelligence about when it's no longer serving your highest growth. Modern research reveals something fascinating about this phenomenon. Long-term cannabis users gradually develop what scientists call behavioral tolerance. This isn't just about needing more to achieve a recreational high. It specifically refers to the plant's spiritual effects diminishing over time. A 2023 study in the Journal of Cannabis Research found that an impressive 78% of regular spiritual users experience this plateau after 6 to 18 months of consistent intentional use. The ancient Taoists described this very same phenomenon, but with different words. When the student is ready, the plant retreats. They believed this perceived resistance was cannabis subtly telling you, it's time to metaphorically fly without herbal training wheels. Here's how to discern if you've reached this significant turning point. Your usual rituals no longer consistently produce deep insights. You feel more groggy or mentally clouded than genuinely awakened. After sessions, the plant seems to hide its face from you. You catch yourself using it more out of ingrained habit rather than clear intention. When this occurs, indigenous traditions universally prescribe a plant sabbatical, typically involving 21 to 40 days of complete abstinence. This is not a punishment. It's a conscious practice that allows your cannabinoid receptors to reset while you actively integrate the profound lessons you've learned. A University of Washington study found that just 3 weeks without cannabis can restore 90% of receptor sensitivity. But here's the crucial secret most people miss. This break works most effectively when meticulously combined with conscious practices designed to maintain the expanded states cannabis helped you reach. Try this transition method, widely used by Amazonian shamans. Replace your usual cannabis time with cacao ceremonies. The theobromine in raw cacao gently stimulates your unanandamide system while keeping your heart energetically open. Alternatively, explore working with blue lotus tea, an ancient Egyptian sacrament that produces soft meditative states without the issue of tolerance buildup. Many individuals find that these alternatives actually deepen their spiritual practice while giving their cannabis receptors ample time to refresh and restore. The most profound lesson, consistently taught by Rastafarian elders, is this: herb reveals, but discipline sustains. What cannabis shows you must eventually become an intrinsic part of your sober consciousness. Tonight, honestly ask yourself, is cannabis still genuinely opening doors for you? Or have you started using it to avoid the courageous act of walking through them on your own? The final truth: the magic was always within you. Imagine waking up to find your third eye already wide open. Colors appear brighter, your intuition feels sharper, and reality itself hums with hidden meaning, all without a single puff of any substance. This isn't fantasy. It's precisely what happens when the profound teachings gleaned from cannabis fully integrate into your very being. The ancient tantric texts describe this as riding the dragon without mounting it, carrying the plant's wisdom in your bones, rather than your bloodstream. Modern neuroscience now confirms this is entirely possible, and the method is simpler than you might imagine. Researchers at UCLA made a breakthrough discovery. People who consistently practice conscious cannabis use, spiritual intention combined with regular integration develop permanent, measurable changes in their default mode, network, the brain's identity center. After just 6 to 12 months of this consistent practice, their sober brain scans began to remarkably resemble those of seasoned meditators, exhibiting increased gamma waves linked to heightened awareness, even without cannabis. In their system, the plant, in essence, trains your brain to access these expansive states independently, provided you commit to the necessary inner work. Here's a powerful integration method utilized by Himalayan monks who work with various sacred plants. Morning. Recall. Immediately upon waking, consciously revisit one profound cannabis insight from your last session. Embodiment. Practice. Spend 5 minutes physically acting out the lesson. For example, if you received the insight, "We are all connected," go hug a tree. Evening anchoring. Before falling asleep, whisper the insight to yourself like a mantra. This 3-step process, rigorously studied at the University of Prague, was shown to increase spiritual retention by an astounding 300%. Compared to merely thinking about insights, the body's active participation in the remembering process is crucial. This explains why indigenous traditions consistently paired cannabis use with movement, dance, or physical rituals. The most surprising finding, revealed by recent research, is the significant role your microbiome plays. Gut bacteria actually help regulate your endocannabinoid system. When scientists at McGill University gave participants probiotic-rich foods like kimchi and kefir, their natural anandamide levels increased by 40%. This provides a compelling explanation for why traditional cannabis cultures always incorporated fermented foods into their diets. They were unknowingly boosting the body's intrinsic ability to maintain cannabis-like states naturally. Now comes the real test. Can you actively spot these cannabis consciousness moments in your everyday life? That sudden sense of déjà vu at the bus stop, the way sunlight filtering through leaves makes your chest ache with profound beauty. These are your sober connections to the sacred tangible proof that the plant's lessons have taken deep root within you. Today, try this. Go 24 hours actively looking for moments of high awareness without using any substances. You'll likely discover they've been present all along. The plant was merely helping you notice them. Let me share a secret that fundamentally changes everything. That warm, expanding feeling you've been chasing with cannabis, the clarity, the connection, the profound sense of our white, was never truly in the plant. It was always, inherently, in you. Cannabis doesn't create spiritual experiences, it simply holds up a mirror to the divine awareness already living vibrantly within yourselves. Modern physics and ancient mystics remarkably agree on this one profound truth. Consciousness is fundamental, and everything else, including cannabis, is merely a temporary tool to help us remember that. A groundbreaking 2024 study at Imperial College London revealed something astonishing. When they showed spiritual cannabis users pictures of their favorite strain, their brains released nearly identical chemicals to actually consuming it. This phenomenon suggests that the placebo effect accounted for an impressive 68% of the experience. This scientifically proves what Buddhist masters taught centuries ago. The mind is the greatest psychedelic. The plant was simply a clever trick, a bypass mechanism designed to circumvent your doubts and show you what was truly possible from within. Now that you've seen the expansive view from the mountain, you don't necessarily need the climbing rope anymore. But here's where most people get stuck. They become attached to the mirror itself instead of what it beautifully reflects. The Tao Te Ching wisely warns about this. When the sage gets the message, they put down the scroll. Your work now isn't about cannabis. It's about diligently cultivating those expanded states through sheer, sustained presence. Try this simple practice each morning. Stand barefoot on the earth and consciously recall your most profound cannabis experience. Feel it fully in your body, without any substances. At first, it may feel faint, but with consistency, neuroscience shows these neural pathways strengthen. Much like muscles, the Hopi elders have a poignant saying about sacred plants. They're like training wheels for the soul. When you can balance gracefully on your own, the training wheels come off. Your body already produces cannabinoids, identical to THC. Your brain already generates DMT during dreams. Your heart already knows how to open without any chemical keys. Cannabis was the benevolent friend who introduced you to your true, expansive self. But now, it's time for you to forge a new relationship. As we conclude this journey, remember the plant's greatest gift isn't the visions it shows, but the undeniable proof it provides, proof that reality is far more mysterious and beautiful than we ever imagined. You don't need to keep revisiting the proof. The jury is no longer out. You are, and always have been, far more powerful than any external substance. The door cannabis opened never truly closes. You can walk through it any time, with just your breath, your pure intention, and the unshakable knowing that the magic was never in the leaf. It was always in the looking dot. So, here we are at the end of our time together, but truly, at the beginning of everything. Think back to when we started. You might have thought cannabis was merely a plant for recreational fun or relaxation. Now, you know it's so much more. A teacher, a mirror, a profound bridge to the sacred. But the biggest surprise, that bridge was inside you all along. Science now consistently proves what the ancients intuitively knew. Your body is a temple with its own natural pharmacy. Those moments of awe, deep connection, and profound peace you felt with cannabis, you can create them without it, too. It just takes consistent practice, much like learning to ride a bike without training wheels. The plant showed you how it feels to truly fly. Now, it's your turn to genuinely grow those wings for real. Remember the most important lesson. This isn't ultimately about cannabis. It's about waking up to the inherent magic in everyday life. That warm sunlight on your skin, the genuine laughter of a friend, the quiet, knowing voice inside that discerns truth. These are your real spiritual guides. Cannabis was merely the flashlight helping you see in the dark. But now, the sun is gracefully rising, and you don't need it anymore. Before you move on, take one deep breath. Feel your heartbeat. That right there, that's the real miracle. The plant was never the ultimate source, just a reminder of the power you've always possessed. Now go live your awakened life. The plant's final, profound lesson: you were never broken. You were always whole. Now go shine like you truly know it.